just a very brief overview of what we will be talking about today. Today I'll be having a very small introduction on what we will talk about. Then we will go right away on how to chart stock, how to see the patterns, how to analyze the prices, and what we can learn from the price action. Because I think there is so many things which we can learn from the prices using different and very simple tools rather than going for a very complex analysis. And I think, and then we will talk about, we will see these patterns, how to study the patterns, how to see the candles and everything. And then a very important part of trading, I think, is to strategize your trade, how to plan the trade, because we usually trade by just entering and don't knowing when to exit, or we know just very vividly the targets and we don't have any idea what goes if it goes wrong, what will be the plan B. So the idea will be to share with you guys the plan, a very good plan, so that we can minimize mm, the losses. Because in my opinion, the if we can minimize the if we can minimize our losses, it's all gain. So the gain is just to minimize the losses. The money which comes when we have a good trade is good, but if we can minimize the trade, we will be a successful trader. So all the emphasis of my strategies are to minimize the losses and be very careful on how to trade. And lastly, what we will do is we will have quick Q&A. We will have Q&A anytime you want, because I will be charting. So if you don't understand any line, anything, any candle which I'm talking about, just ping me on the chat and we will discuss it in more detail. So feel free to put any question in the chat and I'll be having an eye on the chat all the time. So having said that, so let's go to the next one. Yeah, so my plan or the objective of my talk today is how to find the patterns in the chart. And I think someone is waiting. One person is waiting. Can we add him? How to find the patterns in the chart, predict based on the patterns, how to predict the price, and then as I talked about the plan. So plan your trade before entering the trade. It's not easy. Sometimes the plan changes, but we should have a quite a good idea of where to exit the trade before entering the trade, rather than we go the trade in the trade blindly and have no plan at all. Then I think these things will be explained in more detail as we go in the chart, but I will be talking about the candle. What is a candle? Basically, how the candle charts looks like, what are trend lines, how to make a good trend line, what the trend line represents, and the I think my favorite part is the Fibonacci levels. I have been using them for a long time, and for me, I think why I like them, the main reason is the success rate of them is much higher than all the mean average MAs and all these lines and moving averages or trend lines. And I will show you some examples when we talk about these things. But for me, these levels are very nice. Fibonacci levels, if to show you, to tell you about briefly, are just support levels based on some mathematical values, and support and resistance levels. And when we plot them, we can clearly see the prices based on the Fibonacci levels. I think it's not easy to talk about them now, but once I show you the chart, it will be much easier. So I think nothing much. I want to take your time on that. Let's dive right away on the charts. So as I mentioned before, let me stop the screen and go right away. As I mentioned in the abstract before, that we will be starting off with charting this core diagnostics. Let me see where it is. Yes. Okay. So, yeah, hopefully you can see the screen. This is a simple daily chart of core diagnostics, and we will be talking about it in a lot of detail. And I selected this chart because of many reasons. First of all, there are very interesting patterns which are repeating in many other stocks we see every day. So once we will talk about, I will tell you more on that once we go forward on that. Secondly, it shows very clearly how the trend lines works and what happens when the Fibonacci levels start working. At the moment, I don't have any trend line on that. I just have a moving average, and this I haven't used it a lot, this line, but I have it on my charts for a long time, so I just have to keep an eye on that. And lastly, these are the hmm, come on, what else? Yep, I think there is nothing more on the chart at the moment. I cannot see any other trend lines on that. So we will plot all the things on the chart and try to analyze it and see what are the patterns in the chart and how we can create them. Sorry, there is a line. Let me remove it. Okay, let's start right away. So first of all, what is a candle? So a candle, just let me zoom in. Candle is basically a price action where this is a green one is a bullish one. Bullish is when the price goes up, and the red one is bearish one when the price goes down. So a green one. So it what it shows is the minimum. So let me zoom in on a good one, and then we can see the candle. Okay. So the minimum value is the minimum price of that day. The maximum value is the maximum price, and then this bar basically represents when the market opens and when the market closes, what was the price. So basically a candle, green candle shows the price increases during the day, and the red candle shows the price decreases during the day. So and yes, so this is how the candle chart looks like. There are many other representations of the prices, but I usually use candle chart to represent. Let's see this in firstly at the time. So as we are here today, so let's see this chart as we have, and then we will go back in time and try to see if how it looked like as we go along time. So I will play a small replay for you, and then we will see it in more detail. So let's see. We will start with making some trend lines on that and see if we can find a pattern. So if you see here, you can see clearly there is a channel which we can make using the our trend lines, something like this. All right. Okay. So this is a very simple channel which we can clearly see when we see the chart in time. Right. So this is a channel. The price is bounded by the channel, and and then after some time, this channel broke around mid of last month, and then it seems very bearish. But the things which I think the important things which we need to understand here is how to trade these, because what we would like to trade is something like mm, something like this. This is a very nice bullish, something like, yeah, this thing. And lastly, I think this we have already traded. I have put this signal for it, and most of us, some of us have already traded this one from this price to almost, yeah, mostly, and then it goes down. But the question was how we know that it's going to be bullish, and when to enter the trade and how to trade it. So for me, when I see this chart, I can see this channel clearly as I had showed you, but it's not very easy to see it clearly. There are few problems at the moment in the chart. When it starts to build up, when I say build up, you can see that there is a very high price action here. This price action is very difficult to detect unless we have been looking at the news or technical. Technically, it's very difficult to find this price action, but I think we don't lose anything if we miss it. The question is, if you could usually, when the stock has a very high price, it comes in. We have a look at it, or someone usually put it on in the group and everything. So we know that there is a stock which is going up greatly. So then the question is what to do once we have a stock which is going up. So then how to trade it. First of all, one of the major problems we have when we know that some stock is going up is to jump in midway. I don't like to do that because there is a very big problem in that. First of all, because it's very, very difficult to find the top of the price. So where most of the time when we enter the trade, it's usually we don't know when to add the trade, and usually we enter the trade at the very top of it, like at the very price. So I don't, once the price has gone almost 10 to 15% above its current value, I think we should leave it down, because we have to always, always, always remember that the price always comes back. There is no stock in the world which can go up all the time. So the price has to come back all the time to some support level. So if you miss after 15% on the price, just leave it as it is and wait for the price to goes down. Don't try to, because you, I think it's very easy to get because to think that I'm missing a lot of things. You never miss anything. Just wait for the price to goes down and then to the trade. So let's do another thing here. Let me replay it, and because at the moment it looks very interesting that if we have this channel, we can enter the trade here or here and have a nice profit like this. If we enter the trade here and we can exit here, if we know this channel, or if we know this channel, we can enter the trade here and exit here. It looks very, very simple, but actually it's not very simple like this, and I'll show you how and why. Let's see. Okay, let's replay this one a bit back and try to see it. Yep. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going back around 20th of February, and we will replay this chart and see how the price goes, and then I will stop it in the middle and then we will discuss it a little bit. Okay, so let's start. And so this, I don't think, as I mentioned, it's very difficult to find the chart as it goes on. So this was the first peak. My problem now is, let me stop here. We usually see many times in many stocks that the price goes almost like to 200% or something. So if we start from here, this is almost $3 to $20. So it's a big rise. And we have seen these big rises not only here, but also in Ideonomics, if I remember, GNOS, if I remember, these peaks happen all the time. So this is quite frequent, and we can, and the idea was to show you these peaks and compare it with other ones which have not done the same pattern and see how the different the patterns are. So here we have the first peaks, and if we missed it, the problem is, or God forbid, we have bought the stock at a very high, almost $15 or $16. So then the problem is that we cannot do anything about it, and the price has gone, you see, at around $5 or $6 back. So now, if I see this chart, what happens is we usually start making the trend lines. Let me make a few trend lines and show you the problem with what happens with the trend lines when we plot them. Yeah, this is a trend line. So what happens is usually the trend line is made when we connect the lows with the lows or with the highs with the highs. So let's make a trend line here and see what happens. So here is a trend line where I connect the lows and the highs, and when I see this, what I usually expect is the price goes, if I see this, what I will expect is the price goes down here. It looks very bullish, so it should go high as, and the price should go high here like this. But let's see what happens. The price goes down, but it doesn't go up. So yeah, so now the problem is what's happening here. So the trend line breaks. It doesn't break actually, but it is showing nothing at all. And at the moment, we have no idea at all what the price will do. And this is one of the biggest problem I have with only working with trend lines. At the moment, we don't know that it will go up. It's just going down or something till this point here. This is the chart. This is the candle which shows that it has again got the bullish value and it will go high. But the thing is, the problem is here. Once we start, so we saw that the first peak was here, and then there are 47 days till this candle appears. And during this 47 days, most of us has lost already interest in this, and we think that it will not go up because if it is me, I will do also the same thing. Yeah, so yes, so Matt was asking the subscription. I had a subscription for a trading view before, but now it finishes. I haven't renewed it, but my plan is to renew it anyway. So Cos is asking how many days back should the channel be drawn to? This is a very good question. And the answer for this is at the moment we don't, it's not easy to say unless the second peak appears, and there is no second peak at the moment here, so we don't know that there is a channel. At the moment there isn't anything to show that there is a channel. So that's why I was saying that trend lines don't always work and we should not rely on the trend line, but the Fibonacci levels are very nice in this aspect. Let me show you why. Let's draw a Fibonacci level here. You see, and if we draw the Fibonacci level, I will show you why I'm plotting it from down there and not from here. This we can discuss a bit later because I have to show you a few more things, but I will come back to that, where to find the point where to start with making the Fibonacci levels. But if you draw the Fibonacci level here, what we see is the 786 correction pattern. So this is a correction pattern, and unless the price goes below the 786, the price is bullish. This is a bullish trade, and we should not go anywhere. This is, and then if the trend lines are not saying anything, it doesn't matter because we know that we haven't gone below this level. And if you're trading, your SL should be below this 0.93. And when you see, then this is something to hang on to, because at the moment when we see the trend lines, we had nothing to hang on to. But when we see the Fibonacci levels, we have something to hang on to. So it gives us some confidence that there is something in the trade and it will go up again. So this is, I think that's one of the reasons why I like Fibonacci levels. It gives you a very clear picture of what to look for, because these 46 days, I don't think many of us will be in this trade after that, and most of us has already given up and go away. So this is where this comes helpful. Then let's go forward a bit more. So then once we go up, then you see this is again another So let's stop here. You see, this was a very good candle, so it shows that there is some potential here. But then again, the price goes down. The price goes down again here, and this is also, and if we somehow we see, there's another thing you have to see again here. Let me zoom in a little bit. So this was a very good candle, but the price goes down again, and then we think that there isn't anything much in the trade. But if we see closely, I don't have to draw any levels, but this was again 7 at 6 of this higher. So the market is correcting all the time. That's what I said. The market corrects it all the time. If you miss this big one, you don't have to worry about it. The price, if this is a bullish market, the price goes down all the time, and then you have to see this. So then if you start trading here, then what will happen? So then if you find that there is a correction pattern here and you start trading, let's see what happens. Boom. Yep. Let's see here. This is what we are talking about. So this is your trade here, starting from here to here. And this is the trade we should do. And there is no channel at the moment. We don't know anything. And just based on the price action and how the candles are appearing and understanding the candles, we can have this trade. I don't see it's quite possible to do this trade now. Then let's see. So now at the moment, now we can do the channel as yes, so Fibonacci levels, what are they representing? Let me come back to that a bit. Yeah, let me do this one, make the channel, and I'll come back to the Fibonacci. Just one second. So now we have something. Let me draw that. Yes, that's a good question also. So Sonia was asking that how you identify the buying point. Let's see. Where I was saying, if you draw Fibonacci here, let's see, this is 50%. Wow. If I don't think this, or you can go here, and this is 7 at 6. I usually like 7 at 6, but so I was saying, once you saw this pen, you should be very confident that there is a lot of good things happening in this trade. So then you can enter any point. I don't want, this is the best case scenario that you enter here, but you can enter when there is a pullback like this, or here, it doesn't matter, because the price goes down a bit, and you should be, and then you should have a confidence if you plot a Fibonacci here that it's not going 7 at 6 below this. As long as it's not going 7 at 6 below, you should be good to go. And then just wait for it. You will see, this is like a daily chart, so you will see in few days the price goes up again. So so the idea was to trade on this candle. Just see this candle, because this is a big candle, almost, I don't know how much percentage of prices, but this is a very good indication that there is something happening here. Okay. So then, let me see. I'll come back to Subhan. Yes, that's another question. How it is a PT for this trade? Yeah, how to trade that. So the PT first target should be this one. The first target should be this one, this level. So this is 21, and you should almost have 50% out of this trade once it is reaches one. Another strategy which I use to find the PT is this. I usually go for the extension zones. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, I go for 7 at 6 here. I go for 7 here to 7 at 6, which is 7 at 6 of before, and find the extension zones here. So usually I go for any of this level, should be a good PT for you. So 28 was a good one. You can have 25% more here, close 25% more, and then another for close all the trade here. If it goes above that, you should be happy that it should not be a problem. So this is how I usually find the PT when we are trading. We are on up on the tops. Um, what should be the candle time? Yes. So Subhan, the candle time depends on you how you're trading. For me, I don't trade on the day on daily basis. I usually trade in weeks or months. So I usually open my trade. So that's why I trade on the daily chart. I just see the patterns on the daily. I just open the open and then leave it go for a few weeks. And as long as it is not reaching the PT or SL, I just keep on going. Keep it open. Should we mention candles from short term? There are different dynamics. If you're talking about short term or long term trading, depends on you how much time you can afford to sit on. You can see some of these patterns in the short term also on the minute charts, but it's very difficult to trade on them on the short term trade. I haven't done much of it. I used to do that, but lately, last 1 or 2 years, I haven't done much of it. So yes, what is the basis of drawing Fibonacci with zero bit one above or the other way around? This is the way of I was trying to find here the top or the PT. So that's why I plot this inverse Fibonacci. So level here, but usually this is one way for me to find the points extension zones, because these are called extension zones for the trade. So price usually goes in the extension zone and goes back. So I have seen that it works sometimes, but usually it's a good way, because you are talking about finding the PT. So it doesn't matter if you lose few, because you are gaining anyway on a good trade. You're not losing anything. So if you don't find exactly the PT, it doesn't matter for me. Everything you get is a profit. So but your first PT should at least be 21, this one, and rest you just leave it. If you get something, so at this point you should close 50% of your trade and make it even, break even. So if the price goes clearly this, yeah, if the price goes above that, everything is profit. If the price goes down, which happens in the next cycle, you will not lose anything. So yes, so let's see. Then at this moment we have this channel, right? So sometimes I use inverse Fibonacci for many reasons, but when you talk, yeah, yeah, I'll go in the, I think I'll go in that CODX. When we finish this one, we will talk about it, how it looks in the future. Yes, for sure. Yes, Sonia, I think yes, I'm using it to find. I don't use to find the buying point, but to see the price action. The buying points you can find anytime, because as I told you, I was using Fibonacci to see where if the stock is still bullish or not, and it was. Based on trend lines, I was unable to find that this trade or this stock is bullish, but the Fibonacci levels was showing that there is still some bullishness in the trade, and it will go up. So I use Fibonacci's to find these patterns. The prices, then you can use anything you want. These price candles you can use to trade. It depends on you. Uh, so it depends. Fibonacci helps in finding the price actions of how to predict the price, if the stock is bullish, if the stock is bearish, and these sort of things. The levels all helps a lot in finding the supports and resistances. So if you, but then you have to trade it for a long time to make the price actions and where to trade. But you can do that. For me, the best strategy which works for me is to find 786 correction, buy at 786 correction, and sell it uh, at least at the previous top or in the extension zone. This works most of the time if you have a very, and your SL should be below the zero. So this works very well most of the time. So if you, but then the question, there is a bigger problem here is how to find these Fibonacci levels. We will see a bit more on this a bit later, but let me finish this one and then we will go a bit more detail on that. Yeah, so then this is our trade. It got finished. Then we have this channel. Let's see. So now we have two peaks. So it's very easy to make the channel now. So this is now easier. And once we but at the moment cannot see this as a channel. We can see a good trend line here. You can make a channel, but it doesn't matter because the price has not followed this channel after that anyway. So let's see. So this trend line was important for us because we have to see if, and then you have, when you plot a trend line, all the trend lines are not valid. You have to remember that many of the trend line doesn't work. And how you know that a trend line is working? Because you see here, you see, I should have stopped it a bit earlier. So you see when it touches the trend line, it goes up, and this pattern. So there is a correction, again up. There's a correction, again up. So you see, this is how we know that this trend line is valid, because you see every time the price goes back to the trend line, it goes up immediately up. So it means that this is a valid trend line, and also that stock is still bullish. Let me draw the Fibonacci here and show you. So let's see, this is 786 of the previous one. Let's see, 786, and then this is one again. This time, how much correction we get? This usually what happens is we don't get to 786 now, 618 to 786. So the price doesn't go to 786 this time. The price maximum goes to 61, 618. But there was a lot of green candles now, so, and the trend line was still there. So I think what I did was I entered the trade at this point, yeah, on 23rd June, yes, at 17 something, and then yes, it goes on, and my SL, my target was this one, uh, yes, this 29, yes. So then it goes, it tests your patience many times, still testing your patience, still testing your patience, and boom, yes, and this is the best thing. So it goes up, and I have closed my trade on this one. Here, there was a risk that if you have this channel, you put your SL somewhere, you put your price target somewhere up, and it will not reach there. So that's why I said your 50% of the trade should be reduced, should be closed at this. So you will have something out of the trade and on the previous high. And because you see in this case, the price goes down immediately after going that. So this is, it's not easy to find. If it goes up, everything is profit. But if it doesn't, you will not lose anything. And you will, because now at this point, what will happen is you will have 50% closed, and you will even your trade even means you will put the SL at this point. So if the price goes back here, you will just close the trade and get out of it. So then what happens? Let's see. So yes, so this was the channel and everything looks nice. Then a lot of red candles happens. Yes, see, and it is going down still for the last few days, and it is going a lot down. Yeah, so this is what we have at the moment on Friday. So yeah, so there was there's very few interesting things about this. Now this was all very unexpected for me, and it was quite strange on how fast it goes down. But now there is a lot of nice opportunities coming here. Let's see. So I think someone asking was, what is the future of this look like? So let's see. So now the problem was how to understand this one. So if now if I have to go a bit zoomed out and do the Fibonacci here. For the green candle that you will exit on 29, if you go on at 11, that candle should very 786. I might have missed something on this question. Sorry for that, because I don't understand what your question is clearly. Sorry, I have, let me on that. candle. So should that still be defined at 786? I'm a bit confused on your question. Sorry. So let's see now. So this is what we have at the moment, and it looks very interesting on the CRDX. You see, now what we have is now there are two possibilities here. Once on the bigger picture, we are 786 of the first peak, which shows that it is still bullish and it will go up. And if this is true, then what will happen is, in principle, that it should go above this level. Because if we go on the weekly, yes, if we go on the weekly, let's see now. So what if we go on the weekly chart and see it on a very bigger scale, what we see is we are 7 at 6 of the, I think we are not, that's not correct, it should be here. We are still, we're still above 7 at 6, and but for me at the moment it has gone a lot down and it is very bearish. So if you want to trade on this, you should be, you can trade it at the moment, it's very good, and there is a lot of trading opportunity here because now this has, because once this channel is broken, this channel has broken, we are in the bearish formation. So now all the because when we are in the bullish, all the corrections are bearish. When we are in the bearish, so all the corrections are bullish. So you can trade the corrections now to get some money, but overall the stock will be bearish. So we have to be very careful on trading. But as we have gone very down, so there is a lot of opportunities here to trade for me at the moment. I think I put it my target. So you see there is a price action gap here also. So the price I think will go, there is a correction at least till this level. This gap should be filled, this gap 19.5. So I think now, but at the moment, if I don't like to trade now because this is too high, it should make a corrections a little bit down, and then maybe if not 7 at 6, but at least 50% down from here, because this has gone almost 50% of the price up. So let's wait for the correction down till almost 50%, and then I think this will be a good trade somewhere like at this level to 20. This will be a very nice trade. If it doesn't go down, it goes up straight away. I will not trade it and just leave it like it is. So it doesn't matter. But I think it will go down because you see there was a gap here. This gap was filled. Now there is a much needed correction which should be somewhere, and then it will go up. So we'll see next week if there's a correction, and then we will trade. So yes, so this is what CODX looks like now and what we should expect next week or the next week after. And there is a nice trading opportunity here. So all in all, what I showed you is that how to trade, how to make it easier, and also few more things. I think it is very interesting to, when you draw the Fibonacci's, you see the support and the resistance levels. And in order to validate the support and resistance levels, let me show you another thing. I think I have taken a lot of time on this chart, but it's so interesting. So I usually spend so much time on it. Yes, so yes, this was a Fibonacci previously, right? Or make it a new one here. Let's see. So this was 7 at 6. Correction of this one. Yeah, it's plotted here. Yeah, so this was the support level and the resistance levels. And in order to validate, you have to see how the candles are near the support and resistance. If this is, because you see, this is a good support level. This is a good support level. And How I can say that? Because the price takes a lot of time to break this price, and on the way back you see this big candle, so there was a lot of bearish momentum, so it was easy to break this resistance. So this was resistance. Once it was broken, then it becomes a support, but this support doesn't, because the price was so have a so high momentum here, so a big candle with a lot of power, it was easy to break. So this is how I usually see a support or a resistance. Here you can see also there is a lot of other places where we can see similar patterns like this to identify supports. And also with the Fibonacci, you can clearly identify this as a support level. This is 0.5. So this is a level and this is a support level. So usually Fibonacci helps somehow in this way of identifying supports and resistances too. Yes, so this is what we I had on this co-diagnostics. There is a lot of information here. It's not easy to digest, but it's so the idea was to show you how the Fibonacci levels works and how we can trade them and what code we can find with them. Yep, another good question. What is the difference between support and consolidation? Let's see. I had a plan to talk about a consolidation, but I forgot about it. Let's see. So support is basically when the price, a resistance or a support is when the price takes time to. So this was a resistance, and support. I don't have a very good example of support here. Maybe this one. Let's see, this was almost a support. So usually price, when the price was very bearish, so the price goes down and it takes some time at a level and then it breaks. So this is a support, but at the moment I don't have a good example of a very good support on this chart. I might have something, but as you're talking about consolidation, so consolidation is something like this. So let's see. So the price was up here and then it goes down, and as I told you, it's still bullish. So what happens is the price is in a consolidation zone. What is a consolidation? Consolidation appears in different formats. It's usually a flag. Sometimes it's a flag. Sometimes it's a wedge or something. But the price usually stays in a zone during a consolidation. So this was more or less a flag. So the price was moving. So this was usually a flag. It happens something like this, then this, and this. So the price is usually in a flag sort of formation, and then anytime if it is a bullish stock, the price breaks and goes up. If it is a bearish, then the price breaks below and goes down. So usually we see a flag formations like this, which represents consolidation, and we just wait and see what happens here. So this is an example of a consolidation. So in this time, the price was almost consolidating. And in terms of fundamentals, I'm talking about technical stuff, but usually fundamentals, um, I can have a look at UPS. I haven't looked at it. So it's just during the consolidation, it is just waiting for um, stimuli, like a good news or anything, and then the flag breaks. So this is, if you want to relate this technical with the fundamentals, this is an example for that. Yes. So yes. Anything else on that, or we go with on the next one? I'll wait a few minutes. So, and also remember, you will see, as I told you, this sort of peak has appeared on many stocks at the moment. Just give you a very quick example. I've been looking at it for a long time. So this is IDX. So you see, there's a big peak here. I'm still waiting for the zone up. It's not showing anything, but something like this has appeared on Ideonomics, Gunos, but Gunos has gone bad, so nothing here. It's gone well below 7 at 6, so there isn't much in it at the moment, but the peak had appeared here also, and many other stocks. Hexo we will talk about it anyway. So, but yeah, the idea was to show you that once this peak appears, your radar should be up, that there is something in this to have a look at, and then you can plan your trade accordingly. I think nothing more on this one, so we'll go for the next one. The next one is I had entered, yeah, and I messed up. It was a bad call, and I've got out somewhere around this. I think when sit goes below this level, I got out because for me, interesting thing was this candle was there. So this seems like a bullish one, and I thought there is still some potential, but the peers take control of it, and I didn't lose much, but I got out of it once it goes below this level. So yeah, I'm out of it at the moment. So the next one was, oh, next one was, yeah. So the next one is BA Boeing. Now we will not go into much more detail, but I will show you the power of the Fibonacci and how to do different trades. Yes, so then let's see. Yeah, this is a Boeing chart. Somehow I have removed many things in this one. Yes, so I have put it many times on the group how it looks like, and here I will show you how to make find the top and the high to make the Fibonacci level. So let's see. Here there are few belows. Let's see, there are few places where we can, you see there is at this level there is this is not what I'm looking for. Getting what I want. Anyways, so let's see, there is bottom here. We can draw it from here, we can draw it from here, we can draw it from anywhere below. But if we go a bit more detail on this one, we'll see that all of these have a connection with each other. So let's see this one, and this one. This is almost 7 at 6 of this one, a bit more below, I think so. So there, if this is not correct, there might be that there we have plotted wrong somehow. Maybe no, I think it looks okay. So this was a bit below, but usually this happens. Sometimes what happens is the price goes below, but you see that the price has not gone up below the one level. So as I told you, your SL should be below this, and if you are below this at 7 at 6, if you open the trade and the price looks good, you're good to go. And then yes, so because I haven't, so many people asking why I use weekly chart, because on the daily it's very difficult to identify these patterns. Let me go to daily chart on this one, because at the moment, what if we see this in daily, let me show you in daily also, because you see in daily, if you like, it will be appearing. If you see almost 1 year, you will not find anything. So that's my problem here. You see, there is, all what happens is there is a lot of price action here, and then it goes down and no information. So that's why we need to go back. Oh, just give me 1 second. My power is getting low. I need to fix it. I haven't put the charger in it. 1 second. Sorry. Sorry for that. I forgot about it. yes, targets on press. What? So no one's asking what is yours. This is a mess. Yes. So okay. Sorry for that. Yes. So someone is asking what is the reason to choose? Yeah. So that I explained already because there is not much information on the daily here. So when we go back, we see some patterns here because you see now. And I cannot zoom in more on the daily, so I need to go on the weekly on this one because this has no information at all. Various information here. And also that's why I go for weekly holder target for press preset highs whenever use generator as high and low levels to determine support and resistance. 67 is a good one because you see when I plot Fibonacci's, I usually go on the weekly first and then I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so yes. Yes, so I have lost track. I have missed a few questions, but let's see. Yes, so did you see what it is? So this is so this is 7 at 67% comes almost here. So 67 works fine for some people too, and 32 is almost somewhere here. It works fine too for people, for some people. So if you're trading on these levels, it works for me. I'm quite okay with 7 at 6 because it works for me all the time. Sometimes not, but if it doesn't work for me, I just leave the stock. If I don't understand the stock and I don't find anything, I just leave the trade as it is, because you see in many of my trades these levels works very nicely, so that's why I use these trades all the time. But if some, yeah, it depends. Many people use different ways. 7 at 6 is a support, meaning infrastructure moves a person. Yep, yes, you're right on that. Yes, so if the price goes, so if we are, because there is a very valid question here, if there is a big if here, because these patterns which we plot are Fibonacci levels, these are not something which, this is what we understand. So there are many reasons we are not plotting it correctly, or there can be some other trends which we haven't found. So we have to plot it and wait, because here you see a very nice support at 7 at 6. You see it seems like a support here, so it gives you more confidence. But another interesting thing here is the price goes well below 7 at 6, and then but it goes up. So you have to wait and see if this support holds, because you see here there is a big problem, because you see it goes very fast, and it was very likely that it goes much below, but this 7 at 6 holds. It goes a bit below, and these support levels are not like you have to follow them to the very exact point value. You just, these support levels are just give you a price action. So if the price goes below, just wait and see how it goes, because you don't need to hurry on trading exactly on 7 at 6. Just wait on 7 at 6 and see how the price goes. And here you see this is a weekly chart, so remember it's a long time. So during next few weeks the price goes up, but then this is where you have to start thinking about trading at this level, at this point, because you see the price goes down, then support holds, then it goes up, and we are almost 7 at 6 of the previous of this one. And this is a good point of starting to think about entering the trade, and then you can catch this wave easily. Yes, so the question is, based on Fibonacci 706 seems a good number for SL. It's not SL because your SL should be below this level. If you're trading Fibonacci, your SL should be below 1. This should not be the one. So if you're trading, this is a weekly chart, so there's a big gap in the prices, but your SL should be this one because the price goes. This is a good point to enter the trade. Yes, but not SL. SL should be below this level. The PT, yeah, the your price for this one, I mentioned it because what I usually see is when the price goes below, it goes into ABC. It's sorry, it's different. It's a wave pattern now. Usually, what happens is it goes in a 3-wave pattern. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yes, so usually something like this: 1, 2, and 3. So we are waiting for the third one. This is more 5, but it doesn't matter. So 1 second wave should be, we are almost on the second wave. There is still something messy going on the BA at the moment, but I think we are on the second wave. The second wave is almost finished and we are waiting for third wave to start. So yes, this is what BA is. Yes, and I missed the initial part of my talk where I wanted to show you how to plot the Fibonacci, why I select this one instead of this one. I just got up in the questions. So yes, so let's see. Yeah, I was telling you about this. Yes, so you see, always there is a correction. When there is no correction, you just leave it. So you see here there was so much bigger correction. At least we are below, but there was a 7 at 6 correction. So that's why I didn't select this level or select this one. But I think if you select this level or this level, it's very minimal distance. But after, so always you see there is a correction pattern. Whenever the price goes, if you plot from here, there is a correction pattern. This is also 7 at 6 or something, so correction of the previous high. So always there is a correction. You see, this is a correction. Then this is a correction again. So always there is a correction. So wait for the correction and then start buying. And then this was a bigger correction. Yes, this one. This one was the last correction here. So this is always 7 at 6 or 618 correction all the time. So just wait for it. Don't buy high. So this is BA, what it looks like at the moment. Then it leads it to the one which is most talked on the group, Tesla. And my problem with Tesla. So you see, this is the problem with Tesla at the moment. This is how it looks like. And you can see the problem directly here after we have talked about the corrections. It's missing a big correction at the moment. You see there was a last correction somewhere here. A very minimal correction at least, or you can call, I don't call it a big correction anyway. There should be a 7 at 6 correction. I don't think this is a 7 at 6. Yep, you see 50% correction. Yes, that's correct, Hassan. You should look for from the latest correction exactly. So you see there isn't a very good correction. It's still 50% correction here, which was not enough. And then after that, this was on, I don't know, last year or something. Yep. And after that, there is only one direction. No, wait, I'm missing something. So sorry, I missed this one. No, there was a correction before last year. This one, I missed it. I'm sorry. So this was a 50% correction, and then this was a bigger correction here. Yep, 7 at 6. Nice. So this was a 7 at 6 correction last year, or this year in March. And then there was always one direction. And now we have a problem here. I think some of you have already bought it very high and just waiting. And that's my problem. I haven't put any call on Tesla because I am afraid that it is lacking a correction. You see, there is very likely a correction waiting to happen soon. You see, then this is what I'm talking about. So now, if we suppose that this is the high, then what will happen is we will see a pattern, correction pattern here, something like this. Ideal case scenario, something like this. Or it goes this way a little bit. Then it goes above to this support, and then 7 at 6. Because you see, this is the support. If this acts as a support, this level now, so the price will go high again to this resistance, and then go, this support will break this, and then we will have a support here. I don't think, it seems like there is a good support here because this was a resistance previously, so it might drop a bit more. But and then we might have 3 waves or 5 waves, I'm not sure, but at least we should wait for a correction. So this is, that's why I was saying 180 on the group. On Tesla it's actually 162, but at least 180 is a very good approximation. Yes, so this is my Tesla prediction at the moment, and I'm not I think it will, there is something there. It should. It has worked before, so it might should. Because you see, if there was, we'll see. And that's what I'm saying. You can trade it on daily easily, but if you're talking on trading it on a longer term, I think it's very risky because the price is very volatile. It seems to work on many stocks. If it doesn't work on this stock, I'm not sure. That's why I'm keeping away from Tesla. So, and we'll see what happens, but it's very likely that it happens, that something like this will happen. And we have to keep in mind that this is not a bad thing. If a correction happens, then what will happen is it will go much higher than this. It always goes much higher. So then if we bought around this level, we will at least go very much above 500. So this is a good trading opportunity if you find. So correction is not bad. It's a good thing for a stock to have a correction. Yes, so this is Tesla. If you have any questions, just let me know. Hexo, and then lastly AAL Hexo. Hexo is a penny stock. I selected Hexo because I have been bragging about it for a long time. So I thought I might show you why I am talking about it for a long time. Because you see, this is Hexo. This is a very penny stock. Okay. I have selected Hexo because of few reasons. Let's see. So you see, it was bearish for a long time. Or you can plot it from anywhere. But the question was, when this breaks, you can plot it anywhere you want. That's no problem. It doesn't matter. But it was making new lows all the time. And this was the time when it starts. This was the first time, and you zoom in on this one. This was the first time it breaks, and it was a good break, and it goes back to this trend line. So this seems a valid trend line. If the stock goes back again to the same trend line, it usually validates for me the trend line. Then it goes up again. So this is where I think this becomes interesting. And then it's been consolidating for a long time at least. I have been in it for almost 1.5 or 2 months. For me, why I'm not getting out of it, there are a few reasons for that. First of all, this one. There was a very nice price action 2 weeks ago on this one. It was, and then what happens after this is the price has corrected itself I showed this to you guys on the group. On other stocks, what happens is the price usually goes down and it doesn't go up. So the price was very nicely stable at this level. And now what happens? This one, this is, I think, what if it is what I think it is. This is the path which we have seen in the last week in the market. So it has nothing to do with the stock. It's the market which is causing these effects. But if I'm wrong, then what should happen is if this was that this level was broken, what should happen is the price goes below, and then come on, and the price should go up. Yes. So if this was that this level is broken, what should happen is the price should go up again on this support, wait, and then goes down sharply back. But this hasn't happened. So the price has gone back up, and then it's yesterday or Friday it has gone down. So I'm a bit confused on Hexo at the moment, but I think there is still some potential in this one. Unlike Gnus, where there was a big peak here and at this next day it goes very sharply down. Yes, you're right. My SL should be triggered, but I haven't put an SL for myself. But yes, you're right. But this was very unexpected. This was not because of stock. You remember, this was because of all the stocks have gone wild on that day. This was a bloodbath on, and all the stocks have gone almost 10 to 15 to 20% down. So this has, I don't think this has anything to do with the stock. This is still a good one to have, and I think this will go up. There is a lot of good, because a few motivations for me is there is a gap here, and there are many gaps up on this one which I'm looking at. So I think there is still some potential. I am wrong. I might be wrong on this. I still don't know, but there is still, I think there is still something in the stock to look for. And but if it goes again very sharply down below this level, I might get out of it. But at the moment, I'm still in. I'm still waiting to see what happens. QQQ. Just give me 1 second. Let me finish this airline stock and I'll do that. Yes, Alaska. I selected this one for only one reason. Let me show you. Yes, so this one. So here, this is American Airlines. So I wanted to show you two patterns here because here there are a few interesting things. One is there are both of possibilities, bullish and bearish possibility on a single one. So that's why I selected this one to show you, because you see, this is the bearish possibility. So bearish possibility means, so this was the bearish one, then there was a correction, a bit more than 786 correction, and then we are going down. So if this is true, then it will go much down. And I don't know, there isn't much more to go down, but it will go much more down if this is the this bearish possibility is true. Or there is another possibility here, which is the bullish one. And how to do that? Let's see. Let me make the new Fibonacci level here. So this is the previous low, and this was the previous high, and you see 786 again. And if this is true, then this should go above 80. So now the question is, which one is true? And we don't know yet. We have to wait and see. I'm inclined toward this one because I don't think there is a lot of possibilities for it to go much down. So it should go for a three-wave pattern, something like, as I mentioned earlier, something like this, and goes much well above. So this is what I think it is, but there are a number of possibilities on a single trade. You can make bearish and bullish and everything, and then you have to wait and see how it works out. So This is, I wanted to show you that this thing on a chart. So that's why I select this one. Adnan was asking about QQQ. Let's see what it is. I haven't seen it. Wow. Yes. So no, there is nothing here which I can. There's no correction here. There is no correction pattern here. You see, that's my problem at the moment. Then how can I chart it? It's very difficult to chart it because you see there is no way of knowing that where it will go. No. That's correct. The last week, but this is very small. Something like this happened again. This happened again, but this was not enough. If this is usually in Tesla, if you compare it to Tesla, what happens in Tesla is you see it's similar to Tesla, but in some, I think it's what it is, but it's very difficult to predict at the moment what will happen. It might happen something like this on Tesla too, and maybe in QQQ it will go up again, find a double top, and then goes back down again. So this is also a possibility here. So at the moment, QQQ is very difficult to predict because that's the thing. Because the problem is, if you buy here and see that and think that it will go a bit very slowly down, now if we make a Fibonacci here, it might be a 786 correction, but the problem is, it's yeah, it is, but nothing before and after. So yeah, it's not very easy to find a pattern here. This is at least a correction pattern you see here, and then it goes up. But if it is true, then it might goes down back again to at least this level, and then goes back up. If this is true, but I cannot make any correction patterns after that, before that too. So if I want to make a correction pattern on this one, I will starting from this level and see on it on a very big level and see if we can do something about that, because this is where I should look for a pattern and correction pattern. But this is if so, but I cannot. This is also on a weekly chart, on a daily. Also. Daily one. There is a small 786 correction pattern. You might trade that one, but it looks very bearish. It is lacking a correction. It should have. Just wait for it to go down and see where it goes. It is Vishal, yes, Fibonacci works on all the levels. As I told you, if you can try it on a minute chart also, and it should work on a very small level too. So it doesn't have to be weekly or yearly. I usually trade dailies on a longer pattern, weeklies and dailies. So that's why I'm showing you on a longer time range. But you can try to see on 4-hour chart and 2-hour chart also, and you will find a lot of Fibonacci there. Just give me 1 second. I missed one WTC, then I will go to another one. Volatility, it's $1 million question. How to trade the volatility? You just wait. Let's see. I'm not sure about it. You just follow the volatility. Come on, this is nice. For the volatilities, because these volatilities you cannot predict, and if you can't predict anything and you cannot make trends of it, now I will just keep out of it. That's why usually I don't trade when there is a news or there is news coming for a specific trade. I usually don't trade these news because it can go either way. and it's very difficult to predict. So I usually keep away from that. So this is WDC. Come on, what are we doing here? It seems strange because if this is was a 786, or it might be there's few other patterns here. This is the cup pattern, so if this is true, then it should go down. Or if this is a cup and a handle pattern, otherwise there is also a flag here. Let's see. So like this might be a consolidation flag. If this is true and this is broken, then it's bearish. There are more bearish possibilities than bullish ones, so it seems that it is going down because you see this flag is broken. This was a bearish. This was bearish. Yeah. Then what happens is just a consolidation or a correction, small correction, and then again go down. And I think now it's just waiting for another something like what it is. Maybe a flat formation like this or something. So we'll see. It might be a possibility. I might have to look at it again in more detail to find more patterns, but just from the outlook of it, it looks something like this. It might go like this. You never know. Yeah, might be. Something else. Quick look at SPY. SPY. I have been posting lots of charts on SPY time ago, but again the same thing as QQQ. Might be a 786 correction here. But then usually SPY have been quite strange for me. It might be bullish. If this is true, if this is a correction, and this is a good support, I think. This has. So what happens usually in support and resistance is this was a resistance, this was broken. So if this was true, then the price has broken this resistance and it's on a support. So it might take few weeks on this one, then start going up. Or it might be that start to go up. Wait some time on this level and then goes up. Might be. I think so. It's very likely because you see this was a nice example of this. It was a support level on this 302. Then it was broken here. This, I don't know, this was a very strange, but you see this price accumulation. So the price was stable here at this level and then goes up. This was a nice support. It was a resistance here and a support here, and the price goes up. So it might be something similar, or something. It might go a bit below and then goes up. So I think it should go up. It should go up. December 2019 correction. This one. December 2019. this one. But then we don't have a top here, because if we plot up from December 2019, then we don't have a top. So this is not December. This is March. December 2019. This is 18, right? We're talking about this one. If you do this one, no, but then this is the problem. There is no correction here. It goes well below. So this is not. There's no correction pattern here. And see, it looks strange. So this Fibonacci looks very weird. When you get something like this, you should think that there's something wrong. And then there is a possibility here also, this one. It might be, but then you never know where is the top, if this is a true top or not, because it's too early to say. Yep. Yes, so I think, yes, that's all what I have with me so far. There was so many questions on RSI and the median. There was two questions from September and also from Mark on RSI and moving average lines. So my observation on these lines are that they used to predict the price quite well, but I think they need to be complemented with some other parameters or some other indicators like trend lines or RSIs. But for me, I used to do that quite back, some time back, but I had when I complemented them with trend lines, it doesn't work for me. So I just gave up on them, and now I just use Fibonacci's and trend lines to see the price actions, and it works. So the thing is, if something is working for you, if the moving average is working for you, stick to it. And don't try to overcomplicate what the Fibonacci's, moving average, RSIs, and MACDs, everything on a single chart. Because these things, when you see all these things, you will get confused, in my opinion, because when you see the price action, 2 or 3 of the indicators are saying bullish and 1 or 2 are saying bearish, and then there is no way of knowing which is which. So just try to simplify your trade plans and see what works for you.
Salman, unfortunately, we are way above our time.
Yes.
So would you like to finish now?
Yes, I'm almost finished. I'm done.
Okay, great. And maybe we can take the questions offline if someone else has questions, if you want to, or we can have another session. Thank you so much.
Fine. It's fine. Yes, it was a pleasure.
If anyone wants to ask questions, we can open your mics now if you want.
Yes. Yes, you can send on the group. If you have any questions, I can answer them later on. That's fine.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Yes, it was nice.
We have recorded this session and it will be available for everyone if anyone is interested.
Yes. Thank you all for joining in, and it was very nice talking to you guys. Yes.